Hello, Ian. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. All right, so let's see, we've got 4 people in attendance right now. We'll give 1 more minute, see who else shows up.
Hi, Henry. Hi.
He's pointing at my ears. He wants me to put my headphones in too because he sees yours.
she has some too.
All right, good evening, everybody. I think we got 5 members, so we could get started unless there's overwhelming desire to wait for anybody else. All right. So we'll call this to order at 6:02. Representatives Rusk, Cassieri, Gauthier, and Richards in attendance. Any communications or reports? Representative Richards? Are you just waving to the baby?
Waving at the cute baby.
Gotcha. All right, well, no communications, no reports. We can move on to the minutes. I finished up all the outstanding minutes that we've had backed up. So I sent those off about an hour and a half ago. I apologize for the lateness, but there's a bulk of material to get through. We can go piece by piece and just approve the minutes unless there's some comments on that. The only minutes that are on the agenda that somehow made it on the agenda were the August 20th meeting minutes that we dealt with last week. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but we have the minutes from the September 23rd meeting, the September 30th meeting, and the October 7th meeting to just review and approve if that's what we want to do. So I would entertain a motion to approve the September 23rd minutes.
Ian,
Mm-hmm.
my apologies for interrupting, but if it's not on the agenda, you need to make a motion to put it on the agenda with a 2/3 vote to approve it. You can't just add things to the agenda.
All right. Well, let's see. 2/3 out of body of 8. We got 5.
It would be 2/3 of your 5,
Oh, 2/3
whoever's
of the 5.
here.
Okay. Must.
No. Oh, crap. Yeah, attendees. Yes, attendees. Sorry,
Okay.
had to think that one through.
Very good. Yeah. By the way, I can't wait to be not chair anymore. So yeah, all right. Can we do we have the votes to make a motion to add agenda items for the minutes of September 23rd?
Do you want to add them all as one bulk?
Is that possible?
Yeah, you can add them all.
Okay, then let's do that. I would entertain a motion to add all 3 minutes packages as agenda items.
Can you give me the dates?
September 23rd, September 30th, and October 7th.
I move that we add the agenda, add to approve the agendas for September 23rd, 30th, and 7th to the agenda.
Cassieri, second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, very good. Okay, thank you for the assist, Representative Rusk. And so the minutes from September 23rd, any discussion on those?
I move that we accept the September 23rd minutes.
Cassieri, second.
All right. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, seeing none.
I would like to make one note.
Sure.
I just wanted to note, I believe that it's written there that I made the comment about the interruption from Representative Flax, and it says that I said that it was, what does it say? Inappropriate, or I have to find it again, sorry. There's a lot here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong month or meeting now. Hold on.
Understandable, completely. All right.
Okay, there's a lot here.
I'm scrolling too. I'm going to.
Okay, yeah, the word was inappropriate. I said that it was unfair and inappropriate. I think that, it was out of order, but also it wasn't a fair statement. So I think that was important to include.
Unfair and out of order. Is that what you rather have?
Yes, I believe that's what I said.
Okay.
Looks like it's on page 10.
All right, I'll make a note of that. Thank you.
Yeah, page 10.
All right. Any other items? All right, so I'll probably butcher the phrasing, but all in favor of approving the minutes with the changes as suggested?
Aye.
Sorry, can I interrupt first? I did end up attending that meeting. It was just late.
Okay. Did I not have you there? I'm sorry.
I didn't see it. I could have missed it though.
Okay, what time did you come in? Do you remember?
About 8:15.
Okay. All right. All in favor of approving the minutes with those two changes?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain. I didn't get a chance to read through it completely.
Okay. All right. All right, very well. That passes, and we'll add that to the record. I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of September 30th.
Gothier, so moved.
Do we have a second?
Rusk, second.
All right. Any discussion?
I'm sorry. I think we're all just mad dash trying to get through these.
Understood. I'm not rushing. Whatever it takes.
Chair Thomas, it looks like Representative Dean Shimbrott's an attendees.
Ah, very well. Welcome, Representative.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm on my phone. I'm trying to find the plug for my laptop.
Representative Flax just messaged me. He said he's finishing up at work and will join as soon as he can get to his car.
Great. All right. Any discussion on the minutes? Do we want to wait for Representative Flax to pop in and receive comment from him, or do we want to move forward?
He wasn't at that meeting, so I'd assume that he would abstain anyways.
Okay.
I don't have anything to note for, is it the October 7th one that we're on? Or are we on?
No, September 30th.
Okay, September 30th, I do. It doesn't say the date in the document itself, and it doesn't say that I was present, although it lists me as talking, and I do remember being there too.
Duly noted.
Okay.
All right. Add date and add Representative Richards.
Oh, actually, I scanned through it quickly just to make sure. Representative Flax is also listed as speaking in that meeting, so he should be in the attendees list as well.
Thank you very much. All right. And I suppose I should also list moderator Eben as well. All right. Any other further discussions on that? All right. Well, all in favor of approving the September 30th minutes with the adjustments as noted?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? All right. Okay. And next up, the October 7th. October 7th meeting. Now this one I had 2 attachments along with it. Oh crap, did I not send those? I just had, I got written notes from Mr. Amboise and Mr. Burt that I wanted to attach along with those. Those didn't come through the email, did they? Nope. All right. Stand by 1 second.
I see Representative Flax is over in the attendees. Is there any way we can move him up to be a panelist?
Yes, I'll get right to that. All right. Welcome, Representative Flax.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I'm just leaving work. So thanks for getting me in.
All good. We're in the process of reviewing the October 7th minutes, and I just realized I did not attach the written statements from Mr. Amboise and Mr. Burt. So I'm just going to email those out real quick. All right, I'm back. That email should show up in the with the same label, RTM Corp 1014-20, on that same thread I sent the earlier ones. Did everyone receive those yet?
I received them.
Okay. All right. Did I do the motion yet for the minutes? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from October 7th, including the written comments from Mr. Amboise and Mr. Burt.
So moved. Rusk.
Gothier seconded.
All right. Any discussion? All right. Seeing no discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes and the two attachments?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'm going to abstain because I haven't been able to thoroughly read it.
Okay. All right. All right, so that passes. All right. So, moving on to new business. Do we want to discuss the draft report, final edit, or the presentation plan at all, or do we want to hold that for once the final draft is pretty much done? Because it's
We should discuss that tonight.
Okay. Who would like to start?
I went in and tweaked my statement or suggestion a little bit. Reading through everybody's, it seems like we're all coming to a consensus on a pact style. Pretty much all of us agreeing that there shouldn't be any subpoena powers or disciplinary powers. That's what I understood from reading everyone's pieces. I know that there's a section where we list the pros and cons for each of the different types.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you want to assign to that or how you want to split up that work. but I don't know if we've ever explicitly gone through each of the listed types and made like a pro-con list. But that might be something to schedule in so that we have a definitive understanding of what's going to be put into that part of the report.
Mhm.
And I think that about wraps up my comments on it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. Yeah, I think we could probably do it in a meeting such as this, as far as just like having the document open on one computer, and then we just go section by section, look at each example, and throw in the pros and cons that we see. I would note that I haven't finished my recommendation. I just had the goals and priorities up there. Those do need to be updated. I will refine my position on that. And it'll be far more in line with what is consensus as far as this group goes. So there's that. Yeah, so we do have some time if we want to get into that right now. We need to be off the Zoom channel by 6:45 in order to clear it out for some caucus that's coming in at 6:50.
All right, I think we should use our time then.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. So along those lines, the initial section that we looked at, the current state as is. Do you want to brainstorm from pros and cons on that? If we scroll down to where the basic categorical models are listed, the first one is no direct civilian oversight, which I'm open to different phrases on that title. That was just sort of a working phrase.
I think since our civilian oversight as it stands is the town manager, we might just want to say no civilian committee or board or oversight board or something like that to be a little bit more specific.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulties. My iPad's not working correctly, so got to pull up a window on my computer here. Okay, so yeah, we'll make that. I'm sorry, Representative Gauthier, could you repeat what you said as far as the suggestion goes?
My suggestion was to just be a little bit more clear about the wording by saying no civilian oversight body or authority or anything like that. No civilian oversight board, we'll say. I think also just for consistency purposes, we should all agree on a term and an acronym to use throughout. I saw people were using different combinations of like police civilian oversight board, civilian police oversight committee, like just different phrases that all really meant the same thing. So that's something also to consider for consistency and of the reader.
I just second what Representative Gothier just said. I think it's important to distinguish between these and have some language that is consistent. Right, there's a review, like an oversight committee that could be basically anything. The review board could be, just review. There could be an investigative board. There could be a mediation board. There are all these different options here, and they can get confused easily.
Yeah. Well, I've come across the CPRB and the CRB. The CRB is what they used in the town attorney report. So, we could just use that as shorthand to keep it all consistent, which would be Civilian Review Board. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to make a motion to use CRB throughout the report for consistency purposes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Sari will second that.
All right.
I'm not sure if it is something that necessarily needs a motion, but I figured at least having it as a motion would help us all come to a formal consensus. So if there is anybody who wants to maybe have any other input on it, I just think it's good if the town attorney is using it, then as a town body, as it were, as this committee is, then it makes sense for us to use the same language that the town attorney is using.
I agree with that logic. I think that it's the easiest move to make. And yeah, I think, we just need something that is consistent, that kind of stands in for that whole concept.
Two comments. I believe that Representative Dean Shimbrough did come up and raise her hand to second that earlier. That's why no one was saying anything.
I got overlapping windows on the screen here, so I missed the hand raise.
And the second thing is I would just be clear exactly what the town attorney is referring to by CRB, because we don't want to use that terminology to refer to something when we mean something.
Gotcha. Well, in that document, she referred to the CRBs as Civilian Review Board, and then discussed a lot of the possible components and features that a CRB could have, which I think would provide us a pivot point in a similar fashion where we could talk about the CRB and then say, well, these features are available and they could be plugged in or taken out, depending, on what level we're discussing. And that was my understanding of that report, but I don't know if anyone else had a different interpretation.
I agree. I think CRB is generic enough to use throughout the document, and then when we delve into specific types or powers attributed to a CRB, then that would be kept to that specific section.
Representative Thomas, is it possible you could send me another link to the whole document? My document has been wiped off my computer.
Okay. Yes, I will send off another one here shortly.
Thank you.
All right. That should be coming through momentarily.
Ah, got it. Thank you.
You are welcome. So I will say, to stay in line with that, the first edit I'll make is I'll make that category number 1, no direct civilian review board. And I'll put CRB in parentheses. So that kind of would notate the the acronym for the rest of the document. So how about a quick brainstorm on pros and cons of the current model that we have? Which is just a quick synopsis. It is the town manager is the chief executive officer, and he only would do a review if the police chief asked him to, or if some citizen approached the town manager and or the town council to ask for that. If that's, I'm trying to boil it down to as concise a description.
I guess a con would be that there is not civilian oversight, right? That there isn't some point where people outside of town government and the police department are reviewing those complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose a pro could be, you know, not using town staff or resources on another board, committee, commission, what have you, because I'd assume that we'd want at least some representation from the police or town staff, and that has to be considered when creating any board in which we have town employees participating outside of normal work hours.
Uh-huh. Right. For the sake of this, since I've got dual windows open on my computer, I'm not going to be able to see people electronically raise hands. So we can just kind of rest on casual decorum as far as I'm concerned and just take turns speaking. If that's all right with everybody.
Works for me.
All right.
A pro is that the investigation is completed by a qualified investigator.
A con might be that civilians who don't feel comfortable reporting complaints to the police department don't feel like they have another avenue, even though I believe they can still submit them to the town manager.
Would intimidated be a fair word to use? I'm sorry, could you say what you said again?
Citizens may feel, I said uncomfortable,
Okay,
who may feel uncomfortable reporting a complaint to the police department, you know, don't think they have another avenue and then don't report.
Could a pro be the time frame for investigating is shorter, or is that, or you can't say that because it would depend on the situation?
I think you could say that the time frame for a complaint isn't extended or prolonged.
Done in a
Due
timely
to-
manner.
Yeah, or well, due to investigations being done by the board, because I would assume that you know, the whatever committee or board would have to take longer just due to their meeting timeframes than the process that they're using now within the police department.
That does depend a lot on what the review board is. If it's solely reviewing what the
Right.
investigation was, there's no additional investigation time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if it's just, if the board, like Representative Richard said, if the board's just reviewing what the police department has done, then it's pretty much said and done. And you know, the comment is issued and the police chief has a chance to respond. So yeah, that's dependent on the actual features that Well, actually, wait, I'm sorry, back this up. In this case, we're just talking about what does exist currently. So there would be no possibility of like a prolonged investigation because, you know, the town manager is either going to be satisfied with what the police chief has presented or not. There wouldn't be like an opportunity for the review board to comment and then the chief to, you know, have a response and maybe feel like he has, you know, it could. I don't know. Thoughts?
This
We-
pro seems to be an absence of something that could be added, a lot like the first pro, no budget cost for the town staff. So this depends on how you want to include that. I think, as I said, I don't think that there is going to be any prolonged period of investigation if it is purely a review board. So I would take it out for that reason, but I understand how an absence of something can be a pro as well.
Well, yeah, and we can't necessarily say absolutely no. Maybe we could say possible. Possibly.
I mean, I don't mean to speak for Representative Flax, but I do think his intent was that there could be possible increases in time in resolving a complaint. So a pro would be that you lose that possibility of prolonged complaint processing just due to the fact that there is no additional step of going through a review board. That sound about right, Bruce?
All right. I'm going to use the phrase a lesser chance as opposed to no.
You
Okay.
could refer to it, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, refer to it as an investigative board rather than just a review board, because if it were an investigative board and there was 2 investigations occurring simultaneously, that would prolong it. So rather than classify it as a review.
All right. So identify the feature,
Right.
not the body, so to speak. Right?
I'm wondering if the pros could be rephrased for the one for the budget, for example, just saying no extra budget costs for town staff. And for the period of time saying no, I don't know, you know, there's no addition to the time frame, the current time frame. It's kind of a weird one.
You know, it's a good point. It's just hard to phrase.
I also think that the term pro con is kind of limiting what we're saying as well, because some things aren't really pro or con.
Yeah.
It's just kind of making it sound like one's good or bad, and we're not trying to say that. We're trying to say, so perhaps maybe not classifying it as a pro con and just talk about the differences.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. So we're not, you know, defining anything as good or bad.
Right.
Trying to be as neutral as possible.
I think that's a great recommendation, Representative Cassieri. I was going to say maybe benefits versus challenges, but what you're saying might be even better.
So just label it as a general discussion. And as I turn these into complete sentences, I'll just eliminate the labels of pro and con. I may just kind of keep them now just for organizational purpose. Well, I don't know. No, you know what? I'll just do bullet points. Okay. Oops, not a trademark. All right. Any other discussion points? Okay.
I think one thing is not bringing any bias into the investigation either way, you know, to get someone that is perhaps anti-police or maybe very friendly towards police. Doing it this way is a neutral investigation.
Hmm. Um, yeah, to some extent. I mean, it's a professional investigation, but there still may be some systemic biases there. However, I know what you're trying to say is that, you know, it would limit outside influences, like, say,
Yes, thank you.
someone with
That's
political
a better
influence.
way of phrasing it. Thank you.
If I may,
Mhm.
just to make a suggestion, I see that we have, I guess we have about 8 minutes left.
Yes.
And I wonder if we should make a time frame. It looks like we're going to be presenting this to the November meeting. Should we have a time frame, like maybe 2 weeks from now, to put in all of our edits and then get together one more time before that, or how should we proceed?
Yeah, I think maybe I would like to invite everyone to go ahead and use their edit powers on this thing and throw in your discussion points in each section. And any other suggested edits, you know, throw in the comments side. But yeah, I think if we all take the next 2 weeks to really kind of dig into this document and put in the information you want to put in and identify any information that you think this should be possibly taken out. You know, just highlight it and put a comment on the side and say, you know, marked for removal possibly, or considered to remove, so that we can have a chance to discuss it before we do that. But as far as putting stuff in, I have an open door policy on that. As far as anyone who wants to drop stuff in that they think should be in there that was missed. I mean, this is a very rough cut at this point. But yeah, I think that would be a great idea. 2 weeks from now, let me double check my calendar so I don't flub it like I did last time. That would be the 28th. So we can meet on the 28th and go over the draft that's on hand then. And that would give us the buffer zone of 1 week or 2 weeks until the November 11th RTM meeting. So we'd still have a little more time to do some more polish if we needed.
If I may, I was wondering if members were comfortable tonight, perhaps making a motion to, since we all seem to be coming to a consensus on a PAC style group, making a motion perhaps that is what we are recommending as a body. Since moderator Eben said it would be perhaps a little bit more meaningful if this group had a consensus. Just curious what others thought about that.
My overall feeling is that I'm in full favor of a PAC style group, but in my mind, I wouldn't want that to be the end of it necessarily. Like, I'd want that to be sort of like the next step to see what how the community really feels. So I wouldn't want to necessarily limit it to that.
Absolutely. I agree that we all kind of have differing opinions, but I think the thing that we are all coming to a consensus on, that perhaps the next step is a packed group. So perhaps suggesting something like that as a group.
I think your point is that's something we do all agree on. The rest we don't agree on. So we'll present what we do agree on. Representative Thomas, remember, this is a first step. And if it looks as though in the future there needs to be other steps taken, it can be revisited. This isn't closing a door, this is opening a door.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, so yeah, I'm good with that. But I as far as the report goes, I want to keep the individual recommendations at the end, just to kind of show, you know, that diversity of thought and opinion that exists in this body. But as far as putting forth a strong consensus opinion on one solid move that we definitely think is a good thing to do, then I'm all in favor of that.
I was only suggesting it because the moderator had said that if we, came united as a group And since that seems to be a consensus that we are all agreeing on, that it would perhaps be more meaningful going forward, that, and we can add the caveat that some members of the committee believe that more steps should be taken besides that.
Any other members have any thoughts on that?
Representative Richards, I concur.
Okay, so to be clear, are you suggesting that we eliminate the individual recommendations section to the final report?
Not at all. I'm
Okay.
saying that we would have our own recommendations added. I'm saying that we would make a motion tonight that as a body of the Cork members, we have all come to the consensus that a PAC style group is an appropriate next action
Okay,
for
perfect.
our
Yes.
community.
All right, so is that something you'd like me to share in the report tonight to the RTM about our meetings?
I'm actually suggesting to make the motion tonight if the body is comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Make the motion to do what? I mean, we can make a motion to have it as a recommendation in our report, but the RTM, you want the RTM as a whole to make that recommendation?
No,
tonight?
I'm making a motion to recommend in our report that our body as the Cork has come to the consensus that we would recommend a PAC style group to the council.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry if I was
Seconded.
not clear on that.
Got it. Okay, so we'll keep all that information in-house and it's going to be in the report. Got it.
Yes, I'm sorry if I was not clear on that. Sorry.
Good. All good.
I believe you made a motion and I'd like to second it. Now that it's been clarified.
Duly noted. All right, so any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, very well then. That being said, we have about 2 minutes left before the trigger drops on this thing, so I think we should sign off now. And
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Bob, your second.
all right, thank you. That was Dean Shinbrough that did the
Yes.
second? All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, any abstentions? Nope. All right, thank you all for coming. We'll see you at the RTM
Just-
meeting.
Thank
Quick question. Do we stay on this call or do we hop off and use the second link that was sent to us?
I would hop off and use whatever link is attached to the email for the RTM panelist.
Sounded
Okay.
like it might be
Yep.
the same, but no harm, I guess,
Yeah.
in hopping off and back.
Yep.
Actually, wasn't the 6:50 cutoff for the District 1 caucus? I think I got an email saying that was canceled.
I thought it was canceled too.
Yeah.
It was canceled.
Okay, well.
We have, I mean, I know the Republicans have a 7:00 caucus, so I needed to
Yeah.
get off anyways, but
As do the Dems, so I
Okay.
could use a
Okay.
break. All right, very well done.
Right.
10-minute break.
Right.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
See you
Good night.
soon.
Well, I'll see you in a few, actually.